I have one simple question for you. Are you working only on Fiverr now? Or are you looking for clients only in your social media? Or maybe you even work for one person only? In this video, I'll share my not so pleasant experience with you and tell you why these things can really harm your business. Hello guys, I'm Polina Gif, and this is another episode of the series Freelance Tip of the Month. As I shared with you in the previous episode, after making some mistakes on Fiverr, I was having a lot of problems with ranking of my gigs on the platform. Of course, after my gig was deranked, the number of requests and orders that I was getting was much lower than before. And I only survived thanks to the fact that Fiverr was not the only source of income for me. Of course, I mean source of income on freelance. Now, to make myself clear, in this video I won't be talking about other sources of income rather than freelance. Without any doubt, having other sources can also be very beneficial for you, but in this video we're focusing on your freelance business only. So the tip of the month sounds like this. Your income sources on freelance should be as differentiated as possible. In my culture, we have this saying, don't put your eggs in one basket. Now, what do I mean with this? Maybe you know how skilled and experienced investors like Ray Dalio, for example, usually say that in order for you to have financial advantage on the market in the long term, your portfolio should be well diversified. Maybe you even heard about Ray Dalio's so-called all-weather portfolio, which was designed to perform well during all seasons of the market, no matter if there is an economic boom or fall. Shortly, the idea is to allocate your assets in the different sectors of the market to be able to weather any storm. And the same idea can be applied to freelance, guys. Your income sources on freelance should be as differentiated as possible so you can weather any storm. Let me explain it on my example. I was working mainly only on Fiverr. At that time, I was even getting too much work. These requests just kept on coming to me, and I had to say no to a lot of people simply because I didn't have any time left for their projects. But one day I made a mistake. Or several mistakes, actually. But I talked with you about it in the previous episodes, and if you haven't seen them, you can watch them after watching this video. But for this video, you just need to know that I made them, and this resulted in my gig being deranked. Suddenly, I'm not getting enough requests and clients on Fiverr. Of course, it was my fault, but the result now is that I don't have enough work. Or say that something happens that is even not under your control. And for example, Fiverr gets shut down for good. If Fiverr is your only source of income, well, you're doomed. This situation just cannot be worse, right? You're basically left without a job. Just think about it. And it's just like in one blink of an eye. And this is not something on the verge of fantasy. These are the things that can happen to anyone at any moment. It might happen to you today or tomorrow. Who knows? Well, of course, the shutdown of Fiverr is much less likely than you getting a bad review, but there's still this risk out there. And if something like this happens, you need to be prepared. Because I don't think that you want to lose your job, right? If we go back to my example, luckily, and I say luckily because I cannot say that I really thought this through, so luckily I had some clients with whom I was working outside Fiverr, and who I also found in a different source, on my social media to be specific. It was a very small number, but still, it really helped me to continue the process of looking for clients there. And maybe before that, I actually lost some clients on Fiverr exactly because of the time I had to spend on the people outside the platform. You know what I mean here? I had to refuse some people on Fiverr because I chose to spend this time not on them, but on my clients outside the platform. This also maybe worsened the performance of my gigs, you know? It for sure worsened the indicator that shows the percentage of the requests that get transformed into orders. But even if this was the case, in the end it paid off, right? And after having this bad experience on Fiverr, I actually fully realized this need to diversify on freelance. After this period, I created accounts on other freelance platforms, and I'm currently starting my work there. I started thinking about promoting my services on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. There are a lot of different strategies that I'm experimenting with now, but you got the idea, right? That's why I always tell you that I prefer to approach these times not as a setback in my career, but rather as an opportunity. Now that I had time to think about it, I realized how important it is to make your income sources on freelance as differentiated as possible. And I hope that my experience will help you in any way. It's also worth mentioning that this rule works not only with the places that you use to look for your clients, but also with the clients themselves. And I followed this one from almost the very beginning of my freelance career. But of course, I also had to make some mistakes in order to learn it. But I quickly learned that my long-term clients can go away in just one day. And so the same question here. If you have only one but very big client with whom you agreed to work in the long term and he suddenly goes away from you for whatever reason, what do? You lose your job and your income completely, right? In just one day, your income just disappears. So in order to avoid this bad situation, I decided that I will always work with multiple people simultaneously. In other words, I should always have multiple clients. Because in my experience, I had some people who were ready to pay me good money, much more than my other clients, and who were ready to provide me with enough job every day for the upcoming years. My first thought was, of course, like, wow, now I can just focus on one person and even earn more money, you know? How cool is that? Woo! But then I quickly realized that in order for me to meet the needs of this new client, I had to stop working with the clients that I have now. And then it's really not diversified. It's just one person, or it was just one business in my case. And it's very, very risky. Moreover, I don't even have a guarantee that this person will actually keep on making these orders in the upcoming months. Of course, the solution to this problem can also be signing contracts with your clients. And this can work great, but this rarely happens on freelance, so not very realistic. I think today I just want to say that you really need to be smart with this. Freelance is really cool. It's about freedom, flexibility, but it's also a real business. You are a real entrepreneur in a way, and this is hell responsible and hard. There are much more risks and no one will consider them for you. You need to consider them yourself and you need to be prepared for any type of situation. But the good news is that if you manage to do it, you can enjoy all the benefits of being a freelancer and live your best life. What do you think about my tip of the month, guys? Do you think you'll use it, or do you think I'm missing something here? Let me know in the comments, just let's keep the conversation going. I think we all should learn from each other. At least this is what I would like this community to do. By the way, guys, don't forget about the coaching services that I offer. If you want me to look into your specific business case, into whatever problem you're currently having on freelance, I'll be happy to do it on a 1-hour consultation call. You can see all the details and sign up for it in the description below. Thank you for your time and I'll talk to you soon. Пока-пока!